I had seen a psychiatrist, I had seen a social worker, I had even tapped into my Native American heritage and worked with a shaman too. Those three things did not get me into that subconscious, and I also did another program for a year. Gave me a lot, but it just didn't give me that key of getting into that subconscious and how to do that and calming. And I feel like that has been the total key to getting me to thinking differently and regulating my nervous system a whole lot better.
Welcome, Melinda. I'm so excited to have you here. There's a lot of women who've been where you are and who also want to be where you are. Can I ask you to start just a little bit explaining maybe some of the things that you were dealing with or where you were when we first met?
It was a feed that came off of my Facebook, and at the time I was dealing with an illness, and I was the only one in the building that got ill. And I saw one of it was either on YouTube or in one of the little podcasts that I listened to. It talked about, you could be one of those people that you could be the only one affected in a mold case. And that was me. I was the only one affected. And then I've also been married a couple of times, and I just was like, something has to, I need to look at some stuff about myself. And this program has helped me in a time where I'm in a medical situation and just trying to look at building better relationships. And it just came at the perfect time with those two big issues.
Was there something that happened just right before you joined that made you determined to get help?
Yes, it was the work situation and the illness. I was being told, you're the only one that's sick, and being asked to come back to work. And I'm like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm still on 9 new medicines I wasn't on last year. I knew that I needed to change that. And when I just heard those words in your little mastermind class, I was like, that's it. I can do this class, and that'll help me get through this illness, help me stand in my truth with these people, and just have a greater understanding of how those core beliefs came about and change, update those core beliefs. And so I knew I needed to do that.
People won't associate physical illness with anything that can be going on internally, but can you share a little bit about your vocation and maybe the understanding that you had about that?
Yes, I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, and I knew that I had the years that I've been doing this practice. This is my 40th year as a therapist. I knew that anxiety and stress played a big role in how people's body was tense. And I knew that there was a connection to that. And when I would, talk to people and help calm them down and give them some strategies to do, they would come back and say, oh, I'm better now. Or I could actually see that on a mechanical, I could put them up to biofeedback, and I could see that change in their muscles when I was having them, relax and do the exercises. So I knew that mind-body connection, and I truly believe that I could see it in my field, and I just knew that, that it was there.
So what's changed for you in your body and mind as a result of, leaning in and doing this work? What's different now for you?
I knew I had been dealing with anxiety all my life, and I had really been working on it, but I have a new tool on that morning practice. That has really just been a game changer for me, to sit down and as soon as I wake up, I sit on the edge of the bed and I do that morning practice. That's the first thing I do. I don't do anything else but before I do that. And that has just been a game changer. And I'm just able to stay calm. And I didn't realize how much anxiety I still had left in me. And I had already I had told myself at the beginning of the year, I'm going to go and do a massage and get body work done that way. I think I was just maybe within the month I was into the program, and the massage therapist is already saying, oh my gosh, your muscles are so much looser than 2 weeks ago. And so every time I go, she's just making that, assessment on me. So I realized, gosh, I still had a lot of anxiety, and I thought I had gotten rid of, most of it, but I realized there was still another layer that needed to come out.
For many women, it's just been kind of their norm. They don't realize it because they've adapted to it, and they're functioning at a high level and they don't recognize it. So what has changed in your health and your emotional world? Like, what feels improved? What What are some of the biggest wins you've experienced?
Some of the biggest wins, I have, my older brother and I had become estranged after my mother's death, and his family too. And I have been able to, make contact with him, and I just see a different side, have a different understanding now, a more compassion for myself and for others. And so I was able to have a sit down talk with him, and then I was able to sit down with his wife and have a conversation with her one-on-one too. So it just gave me the compassion to do that and know that internally I didn't like that feeling, and that this is a way I could make a change. I could take an action step and make a change. And so that has helped in those family relationships. And then just talking to people at work, I'm on a medical leave right now, and just talking to them about it, I am able to be stronger and stand in my truth and know, who I'm a child of God. I know who I am, and I'm able to just, stand in my truth. And no matter, they're pushing me to make a decision right now, I'm saying, no, I can't make that decision. I need time to pray about it and think about it, and I can get back with you later. It's their urgency. It's not my urgency. And
then with your physical health, in addition to like the massage therapist commenting on how much more relaxed your muscles felt, are you able to feel a difference in your health?
Oh, yes. I feel like I stand up straighter, and I'm able to get back to walking my 3 miles a day. And I just feel like I walk into a room differently. And I have lost 20 pounds since I've been on the program by just changing dietary stuff that Dr. Walsh has recommended. And that's all I have done, is just done that dietary change. I haven't gone to the gym or anything like that, just continuing my walking program.
Wow, 20 pounds. That's impressive. Obviously, you landed here, so you see the importance of both.
Yes, I felt like this program was a bridge to my biblical need and the scientific nature that I had. It was just a perfect bridge to bridge those two together, and just allow me to expand because of those two aspects of it.
Well, and I also want to comment on your consistency, because we try to have a lot of support inside the program so that people don't have to walk through it alone. And you're someone who's really taken advantage of that. Like, you really maximize the opportunity that you have. We tell people, 15 minutes a day, which I firmly stand by. Like, if you do these practices 15 minutes a day, things will change, but there's also more you can take advantage of. And has that been something that you have felt the support of as you've gotten on the calls?
Yes. I make just about every call every week, except on Monday nights, because I have a Bible study on that night, so I'm not able to make that call. But I pretty much attended all of them and just taking advantage of that. And the consistency, I have tried meditation in the past, but my mind wandered. I just couldn't do it. And I tried like every day. I have not missed a day on that 15 minutes. And I've been that consistent. And I'm almost at 90 days, and it was so easy. Just the way that you presented it just was so doable. Just try a couple of minutes and just build from there. And I think I did probably 5 or 10 minutes the first time out, and I was like, hey, I'm already halfway there. And so it was just mind blowing to be able to be that consistent when I hadn't in the past. And you just gave some tips to help make it more successful.
Oh, well, congratulations to you. You said I had anxiety most of my life. Had you tried other things in the past?
Yes, I had seen a psychiatrist. I had seen a social worker, and I had even tapped into my Native American heritage and worked with a shaman too. And there was still, those 3 things did not get me into that subconscious. And I also did another program for a year, and it gave me a lot, but it just didn't give me that key of getting into that subconscious and how to do that and calming. It wasn't emphasized as much as your program is. And I feel like that has been the total key to getting me to thinking differently and regulating my nervous system a whole lot better.
You've done beautifully. Thank you for trusting us.
Thank you.
What were you fearful of if you didn't change something for you that you didn't want?
I knew that, I just knew that mind-body connection for health. And I don't have any medications. I didn't until this. And I have a lot of longevity in my family. And my goal is God promised us 120 years. And I like to take advantage of every opportunity. And I'm going to do everything I can to get that 120 years of life. And so that was, was about health and then just about relationships. I just felt, 2 failed marriages and I was on the outs with my older brother. I'm like, I'm the common denominator in all of that. I need to look at something about myself and just understanding how to do that to my, look at myself with no judgment and letting those reels run in your head from, past caregiver situations. So those were 2 main things: building relationships, my health, and then also just improving my relationship with God too. That was another thing as well.
How has that shifted?
It's just strengthened and expanded and just let me believe that I am a child of God and I'm worthy. Those are the main things.
I love that. And when you say that and there's emotion coming up, that's probably something you always knew up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, like, we don't create that, but we do try to help women learn to rest in it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's the biggest win of all, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. It is. It's just really strengthened it. I was on a path already to strengthen it this past year, but this just put it in, booster mode. It just really projected it a lot, expanded it a lot more.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you would share to anyone who might be watching this, who sees you, can connect to what you're saying and wants the same results that you've had, whether it's in relationships or the relationship with God or weight loss or health or any of the things you've mentioned? Like, what advice would you give to someone?
I would just say trust the program and trust the process. And I feel like I learned a whole lot in Module 1, and Module 2 made me really look internally and look at those old core beliefs and update those. And there was more time to do that. And then Module 3, there was more time to complete that. And Module 1, I know it just seemed overwhelming that, oh my God, how am I going to get if all of them are as intense as this, how am I going to get through in 90 days? But you seem like you front end loaded it. There's a lot of work in the beginning, and then it gives you more time to do the hard stuff. And then it just builds. And I just have to trust the process. And I feel like it's beautifully laid out. And that's one thing I would encourage people is just trust the process and be consistent. I felt like that's what it's been a key, is being consistent and being, just open. I'm a curious person by nature anyway. And I just kept, digging into that curiosity, but not being hyper vigilant about digging in and going down a bunch of rabbit holes, but just being curious and just trying to go step by step by step.
That is beautiful, Melinda. And I think those things you just said, like curiosity and consistency, are 2 of the biggest things. Because I know you said, hard, but then you said 15 minutes a day. So it's hard, but it's probably not harder than what someone else is doing. So it's simple, but it's just like a simple process, but it's different than what you've been doing before.
Right. Exactly.
I guess the only other thing I said, when you said trust the process, that is hard for a lot of people, especially when they're like finding us on Facebook and they don't know, and they might not have known anybody individually who's gone through it. Did you have any kind of skepticism or fear before you joined?
Not really, because just your presentation of it, and it just met my biblical need and my scientific nature. It just bridged those, and I just trusted that. And I listened to your mastermind. I probably listened to that 10 times. And then I took advantage of the opportunity to talk to your staff for that hour time. And they were just so thorough in the interview process. And I'm like, and this was for free. I can't imagine what it's going to be when I pay him money. I'm going to get even more. And it has just lived up to, it's gone beyond what I thought I was going to get. It's just gone beyond that.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being here and sharing your experience. It's been a joy helping you. We always pray for the right people to land in the program, and you're definitely one of those. So thanks a lot for trusting us and for participating so long. Congratulations on all your wins.
Well, thank you. And thank you for developing this program and having the heart to want to help other women.
No.